Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. What a beautiful morning. It's kind of going in and out for me. It's an okay morning. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So before I start work, let's put this video out. Looking at yesterday's game about performances during pre-season, and I'll call it out. I know many won't. Many think it's exciting. I'm going to talk about Ange's very worrying tactics. As you can see from the title, I've said that his tactics are ecstasy for our opponents, and people won't like that. People won't like that at all. But unfortunately, I can only go by what I see. And for me, the tactics are absolutely naive to a fault. We'll get to that in a minute. Listen, pre-season is about what? Pre-season is a chance where all clubs that have had all year since the summer window before shuts had all year to get their plan in order. All year for the scouts, the recruitment team, the data analysts, the director of football, the director of operations, whatever the titles are these days, to get their house in order, to know what do we need to become a better team. Not only that, it's about getting minutes in legs, right? Pre-season is about getting minutes into the legs. Sure. Now, that's why I'm never too worried about the actual result of a game. You know, Spurs win 5-1 and people go, oh my God. Spurs lose 3-0. Oh my God, we're off. I don't really mind too much about the results. For me, what I want to see, and I think what a lot of people want to see, first of all, fitness is absolutely key. We know that. The players go away, they have their holidays, they're going to eat and drink whatever they want to eat and drink. They're going to come back, they're going to have to get their fitness back. And again, as we all know, there's a huge difference between being fit and being match fit. And more than that, I think it's about, right, what are we implementing as to how we want to play for the season? What have we been working on in pre-season that shows we've learnt our lessons from last year and we're actually molding, adapting, growing, use any buzzword you want to make sure that we're better next year than we were last year. This is where my concern is for Tottenham. I don't care about the results. I don't care about the results. At the end of the day, right, you can beat Hearts 5-1 and everyone can absolutely go wild. That's fine. But managers, directors of football, opposition, they're not looking at that. They're not looking and going, Spurs won 5-1. They're looking and going, where's the weakness? Yeah. Now, anybody that's coached, anybody that's worked in pro football, anybody that works in semi-pro football, you will know you are always looking for your opposition's weakness. And the problem is this, the tone started with Hearts, with just how easily Hearts broke down in that first half, broke down our tactics. Now, we can be very fortunate in that game that they weren't clinical. And let's be fair, 7 times out of 10 in the Premier League, teams won't have the quality to be clinical enough to put Spurs to the sword. So you will get away with this gung-ho football. And that's all I can call it. People say Ange'S ball. I think it's gung-ho. I think it's ridiculous. We'll come back to that in a minute. Better teams will pick you off. We saw Arsenal race into a 3-0 lead at White Hart Lane. We saw Liverpool race into a 4-0 lead. These clubs will pick you apart. They understand that in the transition, Spurs are poor. Now, everyone, I know what I'm going to get here. I get it. I know what I'm going to get here. Oh, we've won every pre-season game. Yes, so we bloody well should be. Of course we should be winning pre-season games. We're playing absolute nobodies. Of course we should be winning the game. But the bigger worry is how easily these poor teams are breaching us time and time again. Now, I can hear the cries now, but Sava, Van der Ven and Romero and Udogie aren't there. Sure, but here's the thing. The reason we can't defend at the moment isn't because Royale and Davis are playing back there as a two. The reason we can't defend at the moment back there is because we play with 2 centre-halves. Everyone else is in the opposition half. And all teams are sitting and waiting for us to do, which we inevitably do, is lose possession of the ball in midfield and they counter-attack. And the better teams will take us to the cleaners. This is not rocket science, by the way. This isn't, oh my God, Sava's unearthed something. I think most Spurs fans, most sensible Spurs fans I'm speaking to at the moment, are truly, truly worried by these tactics. By the way, a lot of Spurs YouTubers who won't say it on their videos, but I speak to away from YouTube, you'll be surprised. They're very worried by these tactics as well. Whether or not they want to go in as deep as me in the videos, that's up to them. I know how most people feel in this Spurs YouTube fan base. Now, YouTubers aren't the be all and end all, but it gives you a slice of, hang on, what's going on here? Now, watching yesterday's game, I thought we had some lovely moments going forward, for sure. And I don't think that's in doubt. We've got some players that going forward, we can create moments of magic. Kulu's a good footballer. James Maddison's a good footballer. Sonny, we know what he's going to do. I thought Donnelly yesterday had some really good moments. I don't really know where he was playing. He was all over the park, but showed some really good moments. That's not in doubt for me. And don't get me wrong, I still think we need forwards. We need a winger and a forward for sure. But scoring goals, we will score goals. We will. Because of the nature of how we play, we will score goals. The problem is other teams will really fancy having a go at us every single game. We saw it last year. Even teams that sit in, boom. The moment Spurs lose the ball, we are the most open team in the Premier League. Even Pep doesn't do. And the reason I say Pep is the one that wants to play in the other team's half. Pep is the one that wants total possession. Even he doesn't always have his two fullbacks that high up. One of them will go, the other one will tuck in. The reason why he has Walker at right back, so if he's not flying down, he can tuck in and be the third man. Or on the opposite side, Ake and Vardiel, they can tuck in and be the third man if they're not flying forward. Spurs do both going forward. And I keep hearing, when he gets the tools, when he gets the pieces of the jigsaw, this will work itself out. This isn't working itself out. First of all, the players you need to even attempt that style of football, you need Rodri in midfield. You need Bernardo Silva, who never gives the football away up top. You need a Jack Grealish that can hold on to the ball for ages and ages and draw fouls and keep you up the pitch. You need Phil Foden. Right? And I'm just using the City example because people keep talking about how we're going to catch City with this style of play. I just saw a bonkers video actually about someone saying the genius that Spurs are doing to catch City. And I'm thinking, what are you watching? What nonsense are we peddling out in this fan base to make ourselves feel better? It's like Stockholm Syndrome. Daniel Levy is our captor, and we are now just believing everything we hear about youth. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, without seeing it on the pitch. I digress. Back to the point. So there are going to be many games where, yeah, we look breathtaking, we look brilliant going forward, and we outscore teams. Sure, of course there's going to be many of them. But here's the difference. If Spurs want to progress, and if the aim of this football club is to improve, and it has to be, right? If the aim is to improve, you're not going to do it by playing two at the back and everyone high up. I keep hearing this is what he does in his second season. Guys, girls, this is the Premier League. This isn't Scotland. This isn't Japan. This isn't Australia. I'm not knocking those countries, but they didn't have a Man City, a Liverpool, a Villa, an Aston Villa, an Arsenal, a Man United, a Newcastle. They don't have those teams and those caliber of players and managers to play against week in, week out. In Scotland, let's be fair, the big question every week is how much are Rangers or Celtic winning by? And then the big question is who's going to beat each other when they play each other 4 times a season. You don't have that in the Premier League. You don't have that. And that's not me going, oh, the Premier League's the best in the world. We can have that debate another time. But you've got to be more sensible. And unfortunately, what I'm watching, yesterday was another prime example. I'm going to say it. People don't want to hear it. Our midfield isn't good enough. This style of football involves possession of the ball, keeping the football in tight areas, not giving it away. Our midfielders, none of them are good enough to do that on a regular basis. Now, hear what I said there, regular basis. There will be games where you go, oh, Berg, that was brilliant. Oh, Bentancur, he shone today. Sure. Oh, Basuma ran the game today. Sure. But doing it week in, week out is what this style of football from Ange, that I've never seen any other manager in world football try and do this kind of suicidal tactics, right? Especially not in a top league. If you want to play these tactics, you can't be giving the ball away. And yesterday was another example. I know people rave about Sarr and Bergvall and Gray. I watched those three in the first half yesterday, and all that sprang to mind was these guys two of them aren't ready, and one of them, for me, Sarr, this isn't better than this level at the moment. He can still grow. He's 21. He can still grow, but isn't better than this level. The frequency in which they give the ball away. Now, that's Bentancur as well, by the way. That's Basuma as well. That was Lo Celso as well. Skip. These guys give the ball away too much. So you've got two centre-halves at all times. You've got central midfielders that constantly give the ball away. You're asking for it time after time after time. That is the ball coming from midfield to our centre-backs, midfield to our centre-backs. You're asking to be exposed time after time. Being exposed on the transition is something we're getting used to. Now, it's fine. People can bury their heads in the sand. It's fine. I don't mind that. People can bury their heads in the sand. But I think if anyone is not a fan of Spurs, if anyone who is a fan takes off their rose-tinted glasses and their Spurs hat and actually looks deep at it, again, not through your Spurs lenses that, oh my God, it's magical and everything's brilliant, you would say, I can't wait to play them. If that was Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle, you would be rubbing your hands playing that opposition because you know how they're going to play. Now, the reason for doing this video is I keep hearing if we just sort out our forward line, and by the way, I'm not saying we don't need another top winger and a forward. I'm not saying that at all. I'm the biggest component for wanting those positions sorted. If we just sort the forward line out, then our defence will have less to do. No, we'd score more goals, but the ball would still come back time and time and time again. Because when the midfield inevitably lose the ball because they're not good enough on the ball, the transition is going to hit us time and time and time again. That doesn't matter how good your forwards are. You could have Messi, Ronaldo, and Figo up top. The problem is the moment they haven't got the ball, it's going to come back on us. I'll say this as well. You can have Baresi and Maldini at centre-half. For the younger fans, go and watch them. Two of the best centre-halves, if not the two best centre-halves I've ever seen. You could have Baresi and Maldini at centre-half. If you play with two centre-halves and everyone else high up the pitch, you are going to concede a lot of goals. Now, call me negative, say I'm negative, that's fine. But last year was a case in point. 61 goals with a back four that on paper of Porro, Van der Ven, Romero and Udogie, that should be letting in 20, 25 goals less than it did. We sit there and we talk about, Romero's better than Saliba. Van der Ven's better than Gabriel. Porro's better than Ben White. Udogie's better than any left-back Arsenal have got. Okay. Why are we conceding like double or more double than the goals they are conceding? Why? And let me just make sure I've got that right. Let me just show before I've lied. I'll make sure I will confirm that. Spurs conceded double what Arsenal did. They conceded 29. We conceded 61. Why? If the defenders are as good as we say, then it has to be that the midfielders aren't as good as some people think. It has to be on the tactics. And the reason I bring all this up is I don't see, please, I'm happy to be told wrong. I don't see what Spurs have done to address that transitional problem. I don't see that they've gone out and gone, there's a number 6. Don't talk to me about Archie Gray being the number 6. He is no way ready for it. He's very sloppy on the ball. If you watch the last couple of games, a lot of his passes go wayward. I would expect that. He's an 18-year-old kid. He should be learning from a proper number 6, a proper defensive midfielder. So, please, somebody tell me, somebody with good rationale, not the trolls are idiots. Tell me, somebody with rationale, what have Spurs done to change the personnel to stop that transition happening, or the tactics? Because so far in the 4 pre-season games we've had, we look more gung-ho than ever. And that's against very average football teams. Now, yeah, we're going to outscore the K-League 11 or Vissel Kobe or Hearts or QPR. We're going to outscore them. Now, all of a sudden, we're playing Newcastle this week. We're playing Villa next week. Yeah, we're playing a well-organised Wolves the week after. We've got Brentford who sit in and can defend really well. Now you've got Man United. Now you've got Chelsea. These teams take that apart. Hence why after the first 10 games of last season, teams figured it out. Teams figured it out. It worked for 10 games until teams started to go, hang on, you can get at Spurs. Hence why, again, factually, people don't want the fact, the form from game 10 to game 38 was very average. And it's, thank God, thank the footballing gods, we had that 10-game start. So for me, I'm looking at this right now going, right, it's the 1st of August. And happy 1st of August to everyone. It's the 1st of August, but what are we doing to counter that? Yeah, bring in Eze and Tony. Tony, brilliant. Sure, I'm not saying we don't need them. They will revolutionise our forward line. But what are we doing in that midfield area? What are we doing at the back to make sure that we're not constantly having the ball coming at us? Because at the moment, this looks like Ozzy Ardele's football. Now, that won't mean anything to younger fans. Anyone who's my age, maybe slightly younger or definitely older, you'll know what I mean. It was very much, you score 3, we'll score 4. And that's got a shelf life. You can't do that every game because you're not going to score 4 goals every game, but you will concede goals every game. So for me, the key thing that I need to see in this next month, what are we going to do to address that midfield? What are we going to do to address that backline? Whether that's tactically, whether that's new personnel, because Spurs have not got a single number 6 at this club. Bentancur is not a 6. Basuma definitely isn't a number 6. Sarr is not good enough or disciplined to be a number 6. Bergvall, he's a forward-thinking midfielder. Good player, still young, still very young. And again, that's why before people rave about them, he's Pirlo, he's like Iniesta. Relax, he's an 18-year-old kid. Gray, he's not a defensive midfielder ready to play at this level. Yeah, you've got to have some quality in there. So I'm asking, what are Spurs doing? You've got 30 days of the window to go, right? 30 days. We've got, was it 17 days, 18 days until our first Premier League game? Let's have a look. It's Thursday now, 21, 20, 19, 18. 17 days until our first Premier League game. And so far, we haven't sorted out the tactics and we haven't sorted out any change in personnel. Yes, the window is still open. So I'm asking you, all those people that say to me, the window's not shut, you're judging too soon. When's it happening? Because everyone else seems to be making moves, right? Now, I'm not going to do what most people do and go, oh, but Villa let their players go. Oh, what have Liverpool and City and Arsenal done? Liverpool, City and Arsenal are there. We are down here. We have to catch them, right? We have to catch them. So stop looking at what other teams are doing. What are we going to do in this transfer window to try and close the gap? Let me know your thoughts. I'm really keen to know because all the people that keep saying to me, Sava, the window's not shut yet. Sure. These are the very same people that will turn around and say to me, they're the same people that will turn around and say to me, but the players didn't have a pre-season under Ange. They don't know Ange ball yet. I hate Ange. I hate that saying, Ange ball. I don't know what it is. So what are we doing? Which one is it? Are we building? Are we growing? Is this just going to be a crash? Do we want to get better? Let's see. Because next year, when we concede a ton of goals and we are no higher than we were last year, maybe even lower, I'm really interested to see what people will say to all those perceived negative fans that are seeing the patterns now. So all of these people, yeah, Ange ball is very exciting. Ange ball is exciting for a neutral that wants to see an end-to-end game. For me as a football fan, I look at this and go, this is crazy. This is crazy. How many times? I think yesterday, I mean, the K-League 11, they're not even a team together. They're a made-up team. They had something like 19 shots against us. You can't be conceding that many, pre-season or not. And if you concede that many, you're going to concede loads of goals. Let me know what you think. Call me negative, but this is the last month of the window. And Spurs have a lot more issues than just the forward line for me. I think it's forward line, midfield and defence, which is why I'm so annoyed. Werner came back, so annoyed that we spent 40 million on Gray. What are we doing? Come on, Spurs. Again, that finger needs to be pulled out. Take care, smash the like button, and please subscribe.